Hello and a very warm welcome back to the Team JLX podcast. It's me as always, Xander, and I'm joined by the wonderful Grace. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Hey,
Very
you're off
excited.
next week. You've got like 3 weeks in a abroad.
Yep, I'm going to the Philippines and I could not be more excited. I cannot wait.
Have you ever been to the
So,
Philippines?
no, never, never, which it's been on my list for years now. So,
Because you've been like everywhere else.
not re I've
I feel
been
like in that area of the world.
I actually haven't. I've actually just been to Bali like four
Oh,
times.
serious? I thought you'd done
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe I'm getting this wrong.
No.
So do you island hop around Bali? Is that what you've
Yeah.
done?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
because I
yeah.
remember I think maybe not the last time you went, but the time before that, I strictly remember you getting a bunch of flights or traveling
So,
boats or something, and I
yeah.
was like, ah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, meh, maybe I got that wrong. Oh, sick. So have you done Australia?
No, never.
Shit.
Yeah, I
Actually, it's
feel like
above
everyone
Australia, isn't
thinks
it?
I've just done the whole of Southeast Asia, but and
Oh, I
then and
do, mate.
Australia, but I haven't.
You spent so much time down there. You could have done.
I know, all in the same place. It's not great. Well,
Yeah.
it is great,
Well, it is
but
great if that's what you like.
yeah, it's true.
Um,
But I'm so excited to do the Philippines. Oh my God, though, it has been so challenging booking everything and organizing it because there's everywhere's an island and you can't go direct from like the little islands to the little islands. Like you have to go
oh, so it's a
back to
string of
one of
islands, is it? I actually don't know much about it.
it's 7,000 islands
What?
that make up the Philippines. Yeah.
Actually, 7,000, or you just made that up?
No, legitimately 7,000 islands.
Fucking hell.
So they've obviously got some of the bigger islands, which have like the bigger airports on. So if you're going to the small islands, you have to like there's some of the islands that you can travel like get a ferry and
Mate.
but majority of the ones that I'm going to, it's all you've got to fly to the little island, then back to the bigger islands, then to the little island, back to the bigger islands.
This is mad. Imagine that.
Yeah,
Us getting the train
some
to
of my
Manchester.
flights,
These guys, go get the boat.
one I know one of my flights is like 2+ hours long in between the two little islands, which is crazy because we can get to Spain for that time.
Yeah, this is mad. So how many places are you visiting?
I am doing 5 places over the three
So
weeks.
you've got 6,995 places left to visit.
Exactly.
Oh, mate, I hope you have the best time.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. It's definitely going to be an experience, for sure. So yeah,
Wow.
we'll have to do a podcast after I come back and I'll check back
Absolutely. We can check in and see how it was.
in. For
Are
sure,
you
for sure.
do you have a plan to train when you go away? Obviously you're away for a long time, but like I wonder, like when I go away, typically I tend to deload because I think if I train in the hotel, fine. But generally speaking, if I'm going on holiday, I want to go on holiday and do other things.
Mm,
But then sometimes, like when I went to Singapore, a gym there was arguably the best hotel gym I think I've ever seen in my life. It was
mm.
actually better than most people's commercial gyms. I've
Yeah,
never seen anything like it.
it's interesting that you say that because I was talking to my client about this the other day because she's also about to go to Southeast Asia for 3 weeks. So we were talking about our different kind of approaches that we're going to have to training and nutrition because the thing is that when I go away, like you said, when I'm away for like a week, I tend to, it depends what kind of holiday it is, but I tend to treat that more of a deload because it's just one week.
Yeah, me too.
When I go for 3 weeks, even like 2 weeks plus, for me personally, because I love training and yeah, it's something that I enjoy, it makes me feel good. I
Mm.
will be training when I'm away, but the approach that I take to training and nutrition when I'm in places like Bali or the Philippines is very, very different to my approach that I have when I'm at home. So for me personally, the approach that I'm going to have because it's 3 weeks, and this will be so dependent on everyone, like just because this is how I'm approaching a 3 week holiday, but it's not even a holiday, I'm working while I'm there. But anyway, we move.
Yeah.
Just because this is how I'm approaching it doesn't mean that you guys, if you've got anything coming up, that you have to approach it that way. It's all about making it work for
Mm.
you.
I'm
So for
interested
me,
in this.
yeah, for me personally, I have a rough intention to kind of do minimum 2 training sessions a week.
Hmm.
What I am doing though to kind of help cover um all bases to begin with is that I'm traveling. So today's Wednesday and I'm traveling in exactly a week. So on a Wednesday. So I'm going to train very intensely up until Wednesday. So just in terms of my intensity with my training, pushing to failure. So that if on that first week, either my soreness is there or there's going to be a lot of traveling as well in for the rest of that week that I arrive. Um, in that time, I don't think I'll be able to get to the gym for the rest of the week. So I'm like, that's cool, that's fine.
Hmm.
And then as and when I can, like I said, I think I'm going to try and do 2 sessions per week minimum. If I fancy doing more, like a third, I will go for it.
Mm.
Um, but I'm not going to kill myself over it. And then in terms of nutrition, I'm very much just going to attack it in terms of a what makes me feel good, what I want to have, not too much restriction, but also not be a complete idiot for 3 weeks
Mm.
because I don't want to lose progress while I'm there. And it's very easy to maintain progress once you already have it.
Mm. I
So I
agree.
think that's the thing that people get caught up on, even in their fat loss phases, for example, is
Mm.
they think that you've got to work just as hard to maintain the result that it took you to get. Now, don't get me wrong, you do still have to do the thing
Mm.
afterwards in order to maintain what you've built. But the hardest thing is getting there in the first place. And
Mm.
it's a lot easier to maintain that afterwards. So, for example, with
Especially
my
if you get
meal,
there in a good way as well. Do you know what I mean? If you get
100%.
there in a lifestyle fashion rather than some
Absolutely.
fad, I actually
Yeah.
that's a good point. People struggle to maintain fads. But if
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what I was going to ask you this in a second, but like I don't know what your general relationship with food is like when you go away and things like that. But I
Mm,
know that for me, I struggle because I have to work really hard to eat healthily. Like it is
mm,
genuinely a chore for me. If you gave me the option of just having a protein shake and cereal, I probably would do that because
mm,
it's just not on my radar necessarily. Like, thankfully, my wife likes nice food and I actually like cooking. So, for her at least, so I do that and it does well. But generally, like, if you diet, and certainly I'm exceptionally good at dieting, not because I am this brute who just locks in and does all that crap. I just tweak what I already do. And that
yeah.
means results are maintained easier because I just tweak it back.
Mm. I mean, for me personally, I definitely swing in the direction of if I never came across health and fitness, my eating habits would probably be horrendous because when people are like, listen to your body, listen to your body. What
Ha!
my body wants to do is eat all the chocolate in the world
Yeah,
and
I'd be
like
at Domino's every
have
day.
beige food sometimes
Yeah.
and like maybe not eat a vegetable
That's
in
actually
like
crazy to hear because
a
you're
whole
like a
day.
culinary queen.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong. It's not every day I feel that way. Well, it's every day that I would choose to like devour chocolate if I could. I also saw another post where someone said like if there's like that she was like fitness girl to fitness girl, if there was a food that you could completely change the calories and macros of, what would it be? Now I looked in the comments and these girls commenting, they're not my kind of girls. Because one of them was like, I change a salmon fillet to the macros of a chicken breast. And I'm like, guys. And there was another girl who said I would change my like caramel ice latte to the same macros as water, for example. But I was like, guys, come on. Like, surely you'd want to change like chocolate to the same like calories and macros as a
Yeah,
chicken.
give me a pizza of the chicken breast macros, thank you.
Yeah, or like someone even said like, oh, I'd make all like pizzas like only 500 calories. And I'm like, guys, come on, think bigger, think better.
Yeah.
This is like, come on.
I've never seen you triggered so much by an Instagram post. This is
Very
amazing.
passionate about
Passionate about the
it.
chocolate. I love it.
But
Okay,
yeah,
so
so
yeah, carry on.
on
So
the whole, sorry, I was just gonna say, on the whole, I do like now that I found health and fitness, I do genuinely enjoy the lifestyle that I have. I enjoy on the whole eating healthier options, whole foods and everything. But do not get me wrong, I am not a like only whole foods kind of girl. I am like, give me a bit of chocolate too,
Mm,
and I'll be happy. And I take that approach with me when I'm going away. Like I said, if it was only 1 week, my approach would be very different. My approach would very much be enjoy yourself, have
mm,
the food you want to have. It's 1 week, it's not going to make a huge difference. The second you come back and you go back into your normal routine, not a
mm.
fad diet afterwards, just your normal routine, the results will come back.
Yeah.
And but because I'm going away, sorry, for 3 weeks, the approach will very much be if I want to have some dessert here and there, I'll have dessert here and there.
Mm,
But I will, in general, as much as I can, try to base every single meal around some kind of protein source. Um, and just be smart about what I'm ordering. And like, if I want to have my like caramel iced coffees, which I will, I'm going to be having those. And if I want to have like dessert, then yeah, I'll have it, just not every single time, you know.
hmm. Okay, I've got some questions for you.
Hit
My
me.
first question would be, what would you determine to be a success of this holiday? And to be clear, I am not talking about the holiday in and of itself, because we've had this conversation, maybe even on this podcast before, but about, if you're going on holiday, fucking go on holiday. But you've said already it's a 3 week break. So obviously, and you've
Yeah.
said that, you want to train and you want to manage your food. So
Mm.
what do you determine to be if we were to podcast when you come back and I would say, hey Grace, was your process that you spoke to me about before you went a success? How do you determine that?
To be honest, kind of like what I've just said. So, what I would determine to be a success is that if I came back after the 3 weeks, not feeling like I had missed out loads on
Hmm.
things. So that's like the main thing. If I had moved my body a little, like
Hmm.
not loads, but the way that I view it is that, for example, in my training at the moment, my top priority is growing my glutes and my legs. My upper body, I'm pretty happy with at the moment. And so, what I would be looking at mainly when I go and do my sessions is okay, what I'm thinking of doing is probably doing leg days and then adding a couple of upper body exercises onto the
Hmm.
end just to kind of keep things ticking over. But to
Yep.
be honest, I'm not super mad if I don't progress in upper body for three
Yep.
weeks. It's not a major issue. So success for me would be, yeah, moving my body a little bit, doing a little bit of training here and there just to kind of keep myself ticking over, training with some level of intensity
Hmm.
in those sessions as
Hmm.
well. Um, and then also having that feeling of coming back and feeling satisfied with not only how I've approached things, but also the fact that I haven't missed out on things. Because when you go away, like we spend a lot of money getting there, it's a lot of time, a
Mm.
lot of effort, energy. You're with your loved ones, you're there to
Mm.
create memories. That's what holidays are for.
Memories over
And
macros.
and I think if and like I said, I think it does also depend on the amount of time that you are
Mm.
someplace. And the longer you're there, I think the more
Yeah,
lifestyle-y you need to become in that environment
I
of
like
kind of
that.
sticking to your normal lifestyle. But yeah, nothing bad is going to
Mm.
happen to my results. Like if my training days have only
Mm.
cut down to 2 a week, and if those training
Mm.
sessions are still with good intensity, I'm still hitting majority protein. Now, don't get me wrong, realistically, I'm probably not going to be hitting 150 grams of protein like I normally do, realistically, because if you're eating out at
Mm.
restaurants, it's quite hard to, and I will be for
Mm.
the 3 weeks straight,
Yeah.
basically. However, if I can just do my best and just make sure that I've got a really good protein source
Mm.
with all of my meals, and then
Yeah.
also make sure that I'm eating lots of fruits and veggies, and like salads, which I
Yeah.
will anyway in that heat, keeping myself hydrated, I feel like that is a huge win.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't know if you know you did this, and for you guys listening, I swear on my life we didn't set this up. In fact, we had a completely different podcast
We
prepared.
actually did have a completely different podcast planned for
So
today.
the fact that Grace has answered my question in this way is entirely down to her own self. But if any of you didn't pick up on this, I will highlight it back to you. I asked Grace what she would consider to be a successful holiday, and the first thing she said was how I feel when I get back.
Mm.
She didn't say my weight on the scales. She didn't say how my clothes fit. She didn't say how I look in the mirror. It was how I feel when I get back. And then she proceeded to back that up with only input based things. Nothing you said was outcome based. It wasn't if I come back and well, scales is one example, look is one example. And the reason I want to highlight that is this is one of the greatest, if you were my client now and you'd said that to me before you were going on holiday, I would be so proud because for me, one of the most important things we have in this life is experiences. And if we are withheld from enjoying those experiences for whatever which way we perceive to be most important to that experience, then we are not truly living. We are being guided by insecurity or impression of what other people's thought processes are and our place in society. So the fact that you've said all of those things as inputs, I want to train twice a week, I want to manage my nutrition in this way, is absolutely fantastic. And honestly, I don't believe in perfect, but that would be perfect. So for those of you listening, this was not set up. This was just Grace explaining what it is that she would want to have. And honestly, as a model of how I would encourage you guys to go on your holidays, it would be that. It would be to get an understanding of what it is that you would need to think and feel to make the most of a scenario. And when you do that, I guarantee you that as long as your inputs, such as the ones Grace mentioned, are realistic to the lifestyle that created you the result that you've already got, you will come back from that holiday in exactly the same position as the one you left. The only time I ever see differences in clients who go on holiday is where those two things do not line up and they're escaping their life. Oh, I'm going to go and drink for 5 days. Would you normally drink for 5 days? Well, no, but it's a holiday. Okay, that
Mhm.
doesn't make any sense. It's not actually a holiday, it's an escape. So the fact that you've said that is wonderful.
100%. And what I will say as well is if you guys do want to go and drink for 5 days, we're not here shaming you.
Oh yeah.
100%. Xander knows I love Ibiza. Like, there's no shame or
Felt like a bit of
shade
nerd
coming
there,
from us
folks.
here. But I think also the point is like Xander said, I mean, we didn't plan this podcast and love to hear that my response was near perfect. Love
Yeah.
that. But if you are the kind of person who does want to go away for your holiday and you do want to kind of do what you want to do, there is also no shame in that as well, because like Xander said, holidays are for memories as
Mm,
well.
mm,
And if that is the approach that you want to take, you have to, that is completely fine, but you also have to be aware of the outcome as well.
yes.
And what that means is that if you are concerned that you are going to come back from holiday feeling a bit different. Now, don't get me wrong, like I might come back from this trip being different, looking different, feeling different.
We'll put it in the calendar and find out.
We'll put it in the calendar and find out for sure. But the what I do afterwards, the inputs afterwards will still be the same. And I think that's where people trip themselves up is they come back from a holiday doing possibly even they have the expectation of not treating the holiday the way they
Mm,
actually did treat it. So they come back feeling disappointed, let down with themselves. And so what they do is they feel like they need to punish themselves afterwards. And this is where you're going to trip yourself up massively because
mm,
in doing so, like I said, that is a punishment, and that's not how you're going to get back to a healthy lifestyle. Is by
mm.
constantly being in that cycle of I must punish myself. And the problem is that if you punish yourself too much, That's why you also want to go away on these trips to have like an all-out experience
Mm.
because you've punished yourself so hard all the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Whereas if you, let's say
I,
you come back and you've done this and
I
you've
think
gone
this
all
would be a great one for when you get back. I'm excited for this. I think if we cap that there, because I
yeah.
do genuinely think that when you come back, if we put this in the diary to revisit this, what I
Mhm.
would really value, and I if I would value that, I'm sure the guys listening would value, is a really honest reflection of the holiday. So we now
Yeah,
have it
of
on
course.
record of what you'd plan to go and do. And to be clear, guys, the important part here, and obviously Grace knows this, but the important part is it's you live the holiday you set up. But then you cannot complain about a holiday that you set up if the result of when you get back isn't lined up with that expectation. So, if, for example, you go away and you end up drinking for 2 weeks of the three, and you come back and I say, "Hey, Grace, how was your holiday?" "Oh, I feel awful." "Oh, why is that?" "Oh, I don't really know. I have no idea." It's like
Mm.
people come back from holiday weighing 5, 6 kilos heavier. Why is that? No idea. I couldn't have been anything I did. So nobody else gained the weight for you, so it has to be something you did. Like I've
Yeah.
said before on the podcast, I went my first ever holiday as an adult. In fact, I think the last time I'd been on holiday was when I was like 6. So my first holiday was an all inclusive that I went to with the in laws. Never been to an all inclusive in my life. I gained 6 kilos in about 10 days. I just didn't know how to control myself. I
That's quite
no idea.
impressive.
Oh, it was. I went lean as well, and I came back. I came back
Not
very
lean.
not lean. But my point is, I had no right to be upset, and I wasn't
Mm,
upset. I remember
mm,
coming back thinking, "Wow, my life before this was a bit miserable."
mm,
So what I had done was had a reflection that I was living like a bodybuilder, and actually I like food. I get a lot of
mm.
enjoyment from food. So when I went, what it was the kind of lid got let off the casket, if you like, and that happened. So what I think we should do is we should have a catch up when you come back and give you the opportunity then to explain, actually, based on where I am now, this is what needs to happen next, because we are not perfect and
No.
we are not infallible and we are also not bodybuilders. We are two people who like our training, who like to look a certain way and value how we feel probably above those two things. So for us, it would be really interesting to have that conversation. And for you guys listening, it will be really great to tune in to two people who don't follow the typical social norms of social media where it's physique at all costs and see how we do it. Because what you will see, and I almost guarantee you this, Grace will come back looking no different. But
A
how
little
she
bit more
feels,
tanned.
a little bit, hopefully, yeah.
Fingers crossed.
But hopefully she feels a lot different in a positive way because she'll have executed all the things she wanted to execute. How does that sound?
100%. And I think that what I'm going to say is that I predict what will actually happen as well is that I'm going to come back as well so excited to get back into my routine and to get
Yes.
back to my normal training, get back to my normal life and feel hopefully really fulfilled from the past 3 weeks. So watch this space, guys.
Yeah, I'm excited about this actually. It's our first little social experiment on the channel. Yeah, I need to get some ethics approved and then we're good to go.
Yeah, for sure.
For my n=1 study of, well, you.
Fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a great place to round this off. In terms of takeaways from this, I think at least from me, from kind of what you've said and obviously my experience as well, the main takeaway I've got is, and hopefully this lines up with you guys listening, is the most important thing about the holiday is the holiday. We need to get
Mm,
an understanding of what it is we're going away for, what the purpose is, the duration of time, and how that impacts the inputs that we have. Like you perfectly said, if I'm away for 1 week, it's very different to how I would probably conduct myself should I be away for 3. The next
mm.
thing was on regulation around food. You talked about the importance of I am going to eat the things I want to eat, but I am going to regulate around that. So, yes, I will have the coffee I want, but I probably won't have 2 desserts on that day. And the other thing was around training. You are going to train a couple of times a week. You're going to train with intensity, and you're doing that because you know that when you train well, you feel well, right? I think you said in the week leading up to it, going to train very intensely. It gives you
Yeah,
the opportunity to deload should you need to in that first week. Obviously, time differences and stuff like that to get used to that. And then
exactly.
the last thing was judgment of how well you've done. And that comes down to the things that you said you were going to do and whether or not you do them.
100%. And I already know as well this holiday is going to be so much less active than I usually am. And I have no problem with that either. I have no problem with when I go to the beach lying there straight reading a book for like 3 hours. Like I have no problem with that. It's going to be my training that's going to create that activity for me. So
Perfect.
yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to come back and we'll chat on it.
Indeed. Well, mate, have the best bloody time. I'm excited to
Thank you
hear
so
more about how it
much.
goes. I'm sure everyone else is too. And I'm sure you'll keep us updated, posts and things like that. And if not, I'll just nag you because I want to keep updated anyway of your hopping of 7,000 islands. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Grace, thank you for your time as always. Much appreciated. All the love, people. And we will see you on the next one. Cheerio.
Bye, guys.